The best team, Brighton, and the worst team, Aston Villa.
The best team, Brentford. The worst team, Manchester United.
The best team, Hull City. The worst team, Man United.
The best team, Brighton. The worst team, Aston Villa.
Majority wins the vote. Best team, Brighton. Worst team, Manchester United. Best player of the week versus worst player of the week. The best player of the week, Jack of Brighton, and the worst player, Luke Shaw of Manchester United.
Best player of the week is Cole Palmer. Worst player of the week is Bruno Fernandes.
Best player of the week, Jack of Brighton. Worst player of the week, Luke Shaw of Man United.
Best player of the week, Jack of Brighton. Worst player of the week, Luke Shaw.
Majority wins the vote. Best player of the week, Jack of Brighton. Worst player of the week, Luke Shaw of Manchester United. Now, best striker of the week versus worst striker of the week. The best striker of the week, Joe Pedro of Chelsea, and the worst striker, Isak of Liverpool.
Best striker, Joao Pedro of Chelsea. Worst striker, Isak of Liverpool.
Best striker, Joe Pedro of Chelsea. And the worst striker is Thiago of Brentford.
Best striker, Thiago of Brentford. Worst striker, Isak of Liverpool.
Majority wins the vote. Best striker, Joao Pedro of Chelsea. Worst striker, Isak of Liverpool. Now let's go to the manager of the week versus let's go to the best manager of the week versus the worst manager of the week. The best manager of the week, Djakovic of Hull City, and Tottenham's coach, the worst manager of the week.
Best manager of the week, Kurt Andrew of Brentford, and the worst manager of the week, Carrick of Manchester United.
Jack Trovic of Hull City is the best manager of the week, while Unai Emery of Aston Villa is the worst manager of the week.
Jack Trovic of Hull City, the best manager of the week. Worst manager of the week, Unai Emery of Aston Villa.
Majority wins the votes. Best manager, let's give it to Jack Trovic, while the worst manager, Unai Emery. Then let's go to the surprise. Who surprised you the most this week? Surprise of the week, Hull City beating Manchester United 2-0.
Surprise of the week, the Zerbi losing to Brentford after spending billions of dollars.
Surprise of the week is Hull City beating Manchester United 2-0.
Surprise of the week, Brentford defeating Tottenham 3-0.
I will pick Hull City beating Manchester United 2-0. Is the surprise of the week.